In one of the previous award winning videos of this channel, it was mentioned that certain nicknames are exclusively used for certain pop stars in the Turkish contemporary music scene. The Artsan for Zeki Müren, Superstar for Ajda Pekkan, and Megastar for Tarkan. Tarkan earned this nickname in the 1990s by being one of the first bona fide international stars that emerged from the Turkish pop scene. He broke into the mainstream with his first album, which featured the single Kıl Oldum Abi. Kıl Oldum Abi, the title, was a slang phrase indicating annoyance. It literally means, I've become a body hair, big brother. And it was a part of this new wave of Turkish pop, more or less pioneered by Tarkan's early mentor Sezen Aksu, that incorporated common speech into songwriting. Tarkan followed this early, horribly styled effort with a more mature sophomore record, Acayipsin, which gave the world Hepsi Senin Mi, more commonly known as the Şıkıdım song. Acayipsin also featured the evergreen ballads Kış Güneşi and Unutmamalı,
Dünyaları vermeli.
as well as the more traditional sounding Gül Döktüm Yollarına. Tarkan toured this album, both home and abroad. With the support of this massive tour, Acayipsin became a massive success. Now, Tarkan had an even bigger bar to clear with his third record. And that he did. Ölürüm Sana, Tarkan's third studio album, made him into an international star thanks to the Sezen Aksu penned Şımarık. Essentially a spiritual successor to Hepsi Senin Mi, Şımarık became a certified global hit with its universally appreciated kiss-based chorus. Tarkan's overtly sexual lyrics and videos took the nation by storm, and his success in the world stage earned him the nickname of Megastar. Because he was bigger than Super now. He was the biggest pop star Turkey had ever produced, so naturally the Turkish government and the court of public opinion tried to take him down. The late 90s were made to be incredibly difficult for Tarkan. First, the government came after him about his military service. Turkey is a conscription country, meaning barring a certain disability or injury or shamefully a proof of homosexuality, you have to do a military service, which could take up to 18 months. 18 months! You don't have to be a pop guru to know that being out of the public eye for 18 months is a death sentence for a celebrity. Tarkan, preparing to make a record in America, thanks to the connection he made with the legendary Ahmet Ertegün, cut an oral deal with the Turkish government. According to Tarkan, the government at the time told him that they would register him as a cultural ambassador, allowing his military service to be postponed. So Tarkan went to the United States in preparation for his English language album. Then the government backed out. They claimed that this deal was never put in place and Tarkan should come back and do his military service. He was expected to show up on November 27th, 1998, but 3 days prior to that, he announced that he wouldn't. He told the Turkish public that he believed he could serve the country better by representing it on the global music stage. Most Turkish people agreed. Some didn't. And since military service is an honorable thing in Turkish culture, something every man should do, a very central act of coming of age, populist politicians, as you can imagine, had a field day. Tarkan instead trudged on, trying to make that English record that would capitalize on the success of Şımarık, but then he was bogged down in record deals, managers coming out of the woodwork to claim a piece of his newly enlarged pie, badly constructed agreements, strongly implemented strategies. This new album took forever and ever, and
Çıkıyor söyleyecek bir şeylerimiz yok mu? Çıkıyor.
on August 17th, 1999, northwestern Turkey was shaken with a massive earthquake. Registered as 7.4 on the Richter scale, it killed tens of thousands of people, injured tens of thousands more, caused $3 to $8 billion in damages, and left the country devastated. This was followed by the Düzce earthquake, which occurred just a few months after the 17th of August with a register of 7.2 on the Richter scale. In order to drum up money for the earthquake relief efforts, the Turkish government announced a system of bedelli askerlik, or military service by payment, in which people could pay an amount set by the government and serve days instead of the usual months. Tarkan took advantage of this new law alongside many celebrities and came back to the country to do his military service. Then he released the single Kuzu Kuzu. Then Tarkan was back. Then Tarkan's troubles were back also. Tarkan's private pictures stolen from him a few years prior were used to blackmail the megastar because it featured him nude on a beach with what looked like a biologically male person. This was blackmail fodder, of course, because this was the early 2000s. As if Tarkan hadn't gone through enough in the past years, on the eve of his triumphant return, now he was being blackmailed. Instead of caving in, though, Tarkan gathered reporters, looked everybody in the eye, and gave this incredible speech.
Ne fotomontaj söz konusu ne de bir fotoğraf hilesi bu fotoğraflarda. Evet benim bu fotoğraflardaki. Ben yaşadım, hiçbir şeyden pişmanlık duymadım, utanç duymadım.
He then released Karma. This is Karma. From top to toe, and forgive the insertion of my very subjective opinion, it's one of the best pop albums ever released in the Turkish language, if not the best. From its Ebru-inspired cover to the ballads,
Verme, verme.
to the dance jams,
İçine çek beni.
Karma had it all. It produced hit after hit. All of its videos received heavy airplay on all music channels, and because Tarkan was approached to write the official song for Turkish national football team's 2000 World Cup run, and he elected to convert one of his lesser-known Karma songs into a football anthem, Karma also featured, well, a song that would turn out to be a national anthem. Karma was a massive success. Karma was a massive success in the face of a drawback that occurred because of another massive success. See, this is the key. Warhol is right. Anybody can be famous for 15 minutes. You could be walking on a random sidewalk, someone might hear you sing, sign you on the spot, and then your record might just be in the right place at the right time to penetrate the collective consciousness, and voila, you're a hit, you're a success. Well done. Then what will you do with it? When they come after you for being successful, when everybody expects you to clear the bar you've set higher yourself, when they want your head on a pike and they want you to bow down and they want you to back out, what will you do? Will you? Will you bow down or back out? Will you turn and run when shit hits the fan, or will you pull a megastar and face your troubles and just by opposing end them? Because it's one thing to be successful, that can happen to anyone, but to stay that way, that requires a different kind of tenacity, which is not readily found in everybody's sanity. So anyway, that's why there's only one megastar in Turkey. Hope I made it clear. See you next time.